Okay, Deceive Inc. is finally out. If you don't know, this is a very fun PvP stealth-oriented game where you pick your character similar to a hero shooter like Overwatch or Team Fortress. You blend in with NPCs among other players and try to be the person to escape with the briefcase. But this is a quick, to-the-point guide, so let's not waste any time. Here we go. Now, this guide won't cover specific characters or anything like that. This is just for a first-time player what your general priorities should be in a match. Let's go over your general plan for the beginning of the match. All of this revolves around your upgrades, those little microchips you find in safes throughout the level, and they're shown at the bottom left of your screen. You can customize these in your field deck at the customization menu, but let's not worry about that for now. Your general priority should be getting all of these without dying, of course, before the vault opens. Now, most of these are behind security doors, but you should start with the initial gray upgrade, which can be pretty easily found just out and about in the level. You can open that safe for 1 intel, and then from there, you should work your way up. Go for the green upgrade, which is in the green staff room, the blue upgrade, which is in the blue guard room, and you get the point. However, the purple upgrade is 1 door deeper into the blue guard room, just so you know. And the gold upgrade only comes when you're disabling a vault terminal. These terminals are found within purple rooms, although there is not a guarantee every room will have a vault terminal. So you might get unlucky and have to check multiple rooms. Don't forget to have the appropriate cover for these rooms, green being the staff and blue and purple being the blue guard outfit. So chances are PvP is going to interrupt that plan at some point, and I would advise against just going full deathmatch mode right when the match starts. A lot of people are just going to start fighting, and you should probably just let them fight. However, depending on how confident you are and how good your build is, if you find someone that you are convinced is a player, that is up to you whether or not you just want to try and eliminate them right then and there. And the last bit here I want to say is once you get a little bit better at the game, I would advise trying to get your buffs in the reverse order. Not to say you shouldn't ignore an upgrade that's right in front of you, but if you can just quickly get to a vault terminal to snatch up the better upgrades starting from gold and purple, that is probably the best thing to do because the lower tier upgrades are much more easy to acquire. Now, I won't go too deep on general rules of thumb, but you can actually run while undercover more than you think. You'll be able to get away with it. The AI runs pretty often. Just don't make a super bad habit out of it. But the most important thing is NPCs will never jump. Do not jump unless you're already in a fight or you need to, because it'll instantly give you away to everyone around. Okay, so you've stayed alive long enough for the next part, the vault. Once 3 vault terminals have been disabled by players in the match, the vault will open, and that is where the primary objective, the briefcase, is. You're going to want to make sure to go into the vault with the blue guard cover, and once you get further in, be sure to grab the scientist cover as soon as possible because you will need that to access the final gold room. If you're the first one, as far as you know, that makes it to the gold door, it costs 10 intel currently to open unless you have the gold key card. If you are spending intel to open this door, I would unlock it with intel, but don't go in yet. Go back and make sure you're full on intel before you pick up the briefcase, because once you have the briefcase, you can use your Q ability on keyboard to basically get wall hacks to see everybody within a certain radius around you, and that drains your intel. So you want to make sure you have intel before you actually pick it up. There is a light above the door that'll be green if the vault is empty or red if another player is currently inside. Go in, get the briefcase. If you missed your gold buff, you can get one for free right there. I would immediately use your scan to check for surrounding players and then start running to exit the vault. Moving on to the next part, extracting. First, I'll talk about if you have the briefcase, and then we'll talk a little bit about if you're trying to kill the person who has the briefcase. But if you are extracting yourself, there are 3 different extraction points you can choose. I would use your Q ability to see where most players are and go for the one that's furthest away from the group. Make sure you change out of your scientist costume because the scientist will never be outside of the lab. Change into just a general NPC first chance you get. Now, a super important thing to remember about the briefcase is if you have it, your position will be pinged to all players in the match basically every 10 seconds. You're pinged much more often if you're running, but if you're walking or standing still, the ping happens much more infrequently. You can see the progress on the ping in the radial timer around the briefcase at the bottom of your screen. You can actually use this ping to your advantage and make big plays like changing extraction points and things like that. Wait until you get pinged and then use that time you have left until the next one to make a big move or run to a different spot of the map. And yes, as I just said, you can change your extraction point, but you can only activate each one once. so you will eventually have to stick with one. If it seems like your lobby is doing a lot of fighting, you can just kind of run around and hope people kill each other, or if you're using a much faster character like Cavalier or Larson with his ultimate, you can activate one extraction and then use your ability to get across the map away from other players to activate the furthest one and safely extract before they can catch up. Okay, so things will be a bit different if someone else has the briefcase. Of course, you could just bum rush them and try and just kill them right then and there and take the briefcase, but if you want to try and play it a bit smarter, make sure you change outfits every time it says you're detected. It can be a bit confusing, but that detected overlay shows up every time the other player is using their Q ability scan with the briefcase. So they're going to recognize the silhouette of whatever NPC you are. So it's really important to try to continuously change cover to keep them on their toes. Once they activate an extraction point, don't stray too far from it, even if their ping shows them leaving, because they could double back in the time it takes you to catch up to that ping. Think about it like soccer and you're the goalie. You can stray a little bit from the goal, but you don't want to abandon it completely until they activate a different extraction, in which case you obviously want to beeline it straight over there. Hopefully that wasn't super confusing. Like I said, this is a pretty complicated game, but once you play a couple matches, you'll get the feel for it and it'll all start to kind of make sense. And then you can start changing your strategy based on your character's build and your personal preferences. Now, if you're not too sure if this game is for you, I'll be streaming quite a bit of it over at my stream at twitch.tv/blurbs, where I'm live every weekday and most weekends. So be sure to come hang out, ask me questions about the game, or just lurk and have a good time. But anyway, thank you so much for watching and I hope you have a good day.